What's up, everybody? We are back for another round of Premier League predictions. And Mr. Redmond, after the last round of fixtures, we drew this week. So it's now Craig 26, James 24. It's getting close.
I am on you like the way Jude Bellingham is on referees, and Craig, I am coming to spoil the party. Best believe the still unknown forfeit, which now that this is on Anfield Agenda audience, make sure you get them in the comments down below. I just want you to know that it's definitely you that's going to be participating in that.
Right, we get stuck into this round of fixtures, and we will start off with a bit of a London derby of sorts. Brentford at home against Watford.
I'm going to say in this one, because Watford, even though my perception has been they've done decent because they've had a few good games, they gave Chelsea a good go, Manchester United, they beat them, they beat Everton a few weeks back as well. Them results stood out, so I've been thinking they're doing better than what they actually are, but they've lost like 5 of the last 6 games, and I think with Brentford's inconsistencies but ability to really hurt you, I can see goals in this game, and I'm going to edge Brentford, and I'm going to say 3-2.
It is very difficult to gauge Brentford, isn't it? Because you don't know which Brentford's going to show up. Oh, this is difficult, especially with the races. I've got to go 2-2. I'm going to go for dead. I'm going to go for a draw. And I think, do you know what? I have a feeling that's going to come back to haunt me, James, because I think Brentford might nick it, but I'm going to go for a draw. Difficult enough one to gauge this. We struggled. It's Manchester City against Wolves. We know how hard it was to break Wolves down. Manchester City absolutely free scored as well at the minute, doing really well. Difficult one. It is at the Etihad. What say you, James?
What say I me is that I believe we're going to see one of those games where you probably expect City to score a few goals, but with the combination of Wolves' good defence and City still scoring a lot of goals, as you said, but not as many as usual. You know, this isn't the Centurion team where they scored over 100 goals. They're winning a lot more games, 2-1, 3-2, and I believe they will win this one, and I'm going to say they win 2-1. I think Wolves finally get someone to put it in the back of the net. That's someone not being Adama Traore, and City get 2 goals. Bernardo Silva scoring 1.
Yeah, I think Man City are in a really good place at the minute. I think they're playing really well. I think the vibe around their club is quite positive. I'm going to go 2-0 to Manchester City, but honestly, this could end up being 1-1 or 5-0. It's one of them. It genuinely is a tough one to pick. So another hasty fixture, and I told you guys last week Chelsea were having a wobble. They've got Marcelo Bielsa's Leeds coming to Stamford Bridge in a game that Chelsea can't afford to drop any points in. So what are you thinking on this one?
Wobbly like a pirate with 2 peg legs, mate. Chelsea at the moment, 3 games, and you told me as well, you said that Chelsea are going to just be one of those teams where when it gets to the busier period and their squad manager is more tested, it is definitely a weird one for Chelsea at the moment. They should beat Leeds, but Leeds could give them a game.
Bamford's back as well.
Yeah, I like Bamford. I'm not saying he's bad, and I don't want to upset Leeds fans.
Sure, I'll say it. Yeah, I'll say what the rest of the world think and don't have the guts to say. He's a championship player.
I think lower end Premier League, so I'll be a little bit more nicer, but that's where he is, so it's fine. In this instance, I'm going to say Chelsea 3, Leeds 1.
Yeah, I think Thomas Tuchel's boys get back to winning ways in this one as well. It's never easy when you come up against Leeds. I'm going to stick to a routine 2-0. Clean sheet and a 2-0 win for Chelsea. The next one, a little bit closer to home, obviously, Liverpool, Stevie G's Aston Villa rocking up to Anfield. I know you'll be at the game next Saturday, James. Looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. But I'm also like devastated at the thought of if we drop points, even if it's a draw, and then we've saw how fine the margins can be in a title race, and that's one thing that always haunts me, the fact we lost 1 fucking game in a season and we didn't win the title. How does that happen? And like, if we're in them similar circumstances at the end of the season, and Gerrard, my hero, my dad, for fuck's sake, he's me, but well better. Do you know what I mean? He comes from where I come from, Craig, so how and he wins. Weirdly, I'm going to be made up for him, but at the same time, I'm not going to like it because, of course, I want us to win trophies above anything else. I think it's going to be close because the thing about Gerrard, he makes Aston Villa hard to play. That's one thing I've noticed, that it's difficult. They want you to know, he even said it in an interview yesterday, they want you to know that you're in a game. So I'm going to say Liverpool 2, Aston Villa 0.
I'm going to go 3-1 to Liverpool. I think Villa will get a bit of joy. I think maybe Ollie Watkins will grab a goal. I don't think it's going to be an easy game, but I'm hoping that our little sprinkling of stardust and the fact that we've been able to hopefully rest a lot of the lads from the AC Milan game. So yeah, I'm going to go 3-1. But it'd be lovely to, I wish I was there to see the reception Gerrard again, because no doubt it's going to be absolutely amazing. Right, next up, Arsenal, Southampton. Mikel Arteta's men just come off the back of a 2-1 defeat there against Everton. Southampton and Ralph Hasenhüttl kind of not doing great. I think it's fair to say a little bit of pressure. 3 years in charge with Ralph Hasenhüttl at Southampton, I believe.
Well, Arsenal have obviously just lost as we're recording this, and Southampton, they've been a team where even though like we battered them and whatnot, like do you remember when did they beat or draw against City?
Oh, my memory's worse than yours, James.
So I'm asking the wrong person. I'm going to go with the assumption that they won that game. Just because you beat Man City doesn't mean you're going to go ahead and beat Arsenal. I think Arsenal are going to be the better team. They're going to have more possession, more of the better chances. So if I'm going for points, I should really say Arsenal. But I think Mikel Arteta has got a pattern. He has a good little spell, and then he has a bad spell. And once the games get tight and compact, these young players just can't handle it. And remember, Arsenal have got a very young squad. Whereas Southampton, on the other hand, they've got some rather experienced players that can hurt Arsenal's defence. I'm going to say a 1-1 draw.
I'm going to go 2-1. 2-1 to Arsenal at the Emirates. I think they will get the win. And it's interesting, actually, while we're talking about them, I suppose we should really just have a quick chat about how tight it's getting for fourth place. I think Spurs have snuck right up there, mate. Absolute Spurs, United, Arsenal, maybe fighting for that spot.
Antonio Conte is a results manager, so I'm not surprised that he's finally got them into that conversation. And it's going to be nice, as someone who's hopefully not going to be a part of the top four race because we're in the title race. It's going to be nice to watch and see what happens. The top four race has been close for years now. Even last season, there was us, Leicester, and Chelsea who all could have got top four on the last day. Possibly someone else. And
Chelsea even didn't get the win on the last day, and it was only because Leicester didn't get the result they wanted that they went out. Right. So yeah, it's a tough one. United have a fairly straightforward game. That's the next game we're going to cover. They're away against, look, maybe a bit of a revitalised Norwich under Dean Smith. United travelling there under Ralph Rangnick, not Hasenhüttl, Ralph Rangnick. Off the back of a 1-0 win and a wonder goal from Fred. Did you see it? Right foot. I mean, give him credit. It was a great strike.
He's one of them, you know what I mean? In moments he can look great, and that's what Brazilians do, but I still don't think he's that good of a player. But I do think he's going to suit Rangnick's style of play more, because he's very high pressing, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't like to do that, and McTominay hides a lot, so Fred is always exposed, which is why he gets the more eye-catching mistakes. But McTominay's well shitter than Fred for me. This will be too much for Norwich, in my opinion. I think they're going to suffocate them, to be dead honest with you. I think the quality and the individual brilliance that Man United possess is just going to be, as I said, too suffocating for Norwich to handle. Don't really see anyone creating a moment of individual brilliance for Norwich, even though, shout out to the legend Timu Pukki, very, very inconsistent. There's not really anyone else in that side marginally who's going to make a huge impact. So I'm going to give Man United the benefit of the doubt. I think they're going to win the second game under the new manager, and I'm going to say 2-0.
Yeah, under Ralph Rangnick with the 4-2-2-2 system that he looks to play, I think 2-0 probably would have been the score I went with, so I will...
Go on, go with the same one. I don't like the fact that I've got an advantage the way that I can vote first, so just go with the same one on the odd thing.
I'll go with 3-1 to United.
Are you confident with that though, Craig? Because I want no excuses when you lose this thing, mate.
Adam Ida's been doing alright for them. Team of Pukki's there. I mean, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. The next one, the Battle of the Clarets, Burnley against West Ham. West Ham off the back of a fantastic victory, obviously. Burnley a little bit better this season than in previous seasons, yet the league table shows them all the way down there.
Burnley getting relegated, I think that is definitely a huge possibility, and I'm just surprised that they haven't been relegated by now, so I don't want any Burnley fans to take offence, even though quite frankly I don't really care if you do. Cornet can hurt them, however, and I believe they could even maybe get a goal, but I still see it being 2-1. I'm not going to say 3-1 because they're away from home, West Ham, and you never know what can happen in them circumstances. I do think the time is coming for Burnley, or there and thereabouts. If they escape it again, amazing, but that club is literally there just to be in the Premier League. It's got no other purpose. It's not an Aston Villa or a Leicester that are taking necessary steps forward to go and progress. I'm going to go with a West Ham win, 2-1.
This has been my curveball of the week. This is the one where I'm going to go for the strange one, because I think often at times we see clubs get a big result like West Ham did against us, then they went and start losing some games. They got a big result against Chelsea, and I think they're going to have a bit of a wobble. So I'm going to go for...
Watford's done the same as well with some of their big results. Southampton with City as well, so you're right.
1-1. I'm going to go 1-1 on this one. I'm going to go for a draw. Another team under pressure, Leicester City. They take on Newcastle off the back of their first Premier League victory. Leicester under pressure, James. What are you saying?
I feel dead sorry for Brendan Rodgers because I do think he's a good manager, but the spell that he's going through right now is literally disgraceful. When it comes to Leicester and Newcastle, they're going to be a bit leggy. They're going to, it's a 2 o'clock kickoff. I believe they're going to have another dodgy result because I'm still thinking it's a matter of time before Newcastle finally get a decent result. I'll edge you, Leicester fans. I know I've just said all that shit. I do believe Eddie Howe could get something, but I'm not willing to take the risk. I need to make sure to get these points. I'm going to say 2-1 to Leicester.
Yeah, I think Leicester will win as well. I do. I think they've been unlucky. I think they've had some injuries because I think they've been starting some young players as well.
They always have injuries. It's unfortunate.
I think you got the score spot on, if I'm being honest with you. I think 2-1 is probably right. I'll go 2-0 to Leicester. Newcastle struggling to score. Yeah, I'm going to go 2-0 to Leicester. I think they will get back to winning ways. The next game is actually one that I wouldn't mind watching, and I didn't think I'd say this. Brighton against Spurs at the Amex.
I think it's got a 1-0 written all over it either way. So for that reason, I'm going to say 0-0. Because Brighton don't have a striker, and right now neither do Spurs. They've got Son, but he's in and out of games, and Brighton are well set up defensively.
Harry Kane won Premier League goal, James, this season.
Divock Origi's got more, just saying. Harry Kane's supposed to be one of the best strikers in the league. Origi's got more goals.
I think Fred's only got one, is he?
Why did you bring that up? We're trying to glorify Origi, not trying to leave Fred over there, Craig. Do you know what I mean? Let Joe Lands with all booing in it.
Into Harold, Sir Harold of Tottenham.
Yeah, is that what you're doing? I'm trying to pick up Origi, but like you said, comparing him to Harry Kane this season is it's like comparing him to friggin' Kenny Dalglish now, when obviously his best work was time ago. Anyway, I'm gonna say 0-0. I'm sticking with 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, fair play to them getting that equaliser late, down to 10 men because they'd made all their substitutions, and I get where you're going with this one. I just can't see there not being a goal in the game, so 2-1 Spurs. I'm gonna go. I think you're right, Antonio Conte. There's a little bit of momentum starting to build there at Spurs, and I think Harry Kane will start scoring eventually. He will. He's too good not to have a little patch throughout the season. So I'm going to go 2-1 to Spurs. And the last one, it's Crystal Palace against Everton at Selhurst Park. Has Patrick Vieira's little managerial boost at the start, has that started to wane off a little bit? Palace's results haven't been too great as of late.
No, I thought they held off Man United fairly well. And Man United, they actually had a system, and when you get their individuals that they possess into a system, that will become a good team. I've always said this, and Ragnick is a great tactical coach. I think it'd be harsh to say it started to weigh off. Of course, the results haven't been ideal for Palace, but they're playing Everton, and even though they just got a great win against Arsenal, they never played phenomenal in the game, and I believe that's going to be one of these games where it's just a matter of who takes their chances. Sounds very Michael Owen-esque, that statement, but what I mean is there's no guarantee Everton are going to score goals, and there's certainly no guarantee that Crystal Palace are going to do the same, because they've had a lot of stalemates this season. Therefore, I'm going to probably say a 1-1 draw. I've gone with a lot of draws in this, so I'm being a bit naive. It's probably better if I do go for the team, but I am going to go with a 1-1 draw.
I can see why you go with a draw, to be fair. I mean, Selhurst Park can be a difficult place to go at the best of times. Oh, I was going to go with a draw, but now I'm thinking I'm going to roll the dice a little bit. I'm going to go 2-1 Palace. I've taken a couple of gambles this week, James, and as always, folks, we would love to know what you think of our predictions in the comments section below. And again, don't forget, drop a like on the video, hit the subscribe button, and we'll be back to let you guys glow or not next week. Mr. Redmond, pleasure as always. I will catch you soon.